Good morning. This is the Bitter Knitters podcast. My name is Jacqueline. I'm joined with Arthur.
Yo.
Ryan. He's here.
Hi.
He's on mute.
Yeah, there he is.
And, it is Wednesday, October 25th, 2017. And we got some interesting stories to talk about. But I just wanted to give a really quick update on, we talked about Sharon Matthews on the young girl that disappeared after her father put her in the laneway. They did find the body. It has been identified as her, and the father apparently turned himself in on Monday and changed his story. Of course, you knew there was a change in the story. He claims that when he tried to make her drink the milk, she choked on it, and somehow she was unconscious and dead. So he took her body and hid it. That's why the car had left the house for an hour. I'm sure more will come out. This guy killed her.
Oh,
I don't know what brought it on. Nothing brought on, can justify killing a 3-year-old child. But yeah, it's fucking douchebag, rotten hell asshole. Arthur, you want to talk about the story you shared with me today?
It's the fucking Saudi prince. It's pretty fucking cool. He said that. I mean, I'll get to that at the end. So essentially, what he's saying is that Saudi Arabia is going to move from like very strict Wahhabist Islam, right? They're going to move into the modern world. He wants to be, as much as I hate this fucking term, but they want to be moderate Muslims in Saudi, meaning no veils, none of this women can't drive, women can't do this, you know what I mean? Where you can practice any faith or have zero faith and not be fucking stoned to death or thrown off a fucking building, where you can, be openly gay and it not fucking offend everybody. It's great, We need somebody in that part of the world to really take that fucking lead and say, like, see, we can live together like this.
That's 100% what that area needs. They need like you said, a moderate. He's somebody who's a futurist. You know what I mean? This guy's not just thinking about women's rights, which is awesome. He is thinking about women's rights. He's trying to build that country.
Exactly.
Open. He says the Saudi Arabia of the past was inclusive.
Yeah, it was.
And he wants to go back to that time. And he wants to build a huge mega city that's going to straddle 3 countries.
3 countries, yeah, into Egypt and Jordan, as well as Saudi Arabia.
And, and it's going to be like billions of dollars to build this city.
I think they quoted $500 billion.
Come and invest. And he wants people from the West to come there, obviously. And women and men that are afraid of these extreme places, or they want to practice their own religion, aren't going to come if they're afraid to be stoned to death or killed.
Exactly, right? You got to open up tourism. Tourism's huge now. People my age group and younger, like, that's all we want to do. We want to see the fucking world. I'd love to go to a place like Saudi Arabia and see the opulence that they live in, but just because of who I am, how I look, how I live my life, like, I'm not fucking safe going there.
And your attitude.
Well, and my attitude, absolutely. Like, but the thing is, though, it's just, I'm kind of waiting to hear, like, oh, Saudi prince dies in mysterious circumstances, because he's talking out.
That's my worry. Because he basically has said to the clerics that are running it, these really extreme clerics that kind of, they want to keep it in the dark ages. Yep. He's like, in control anymore. This is basically full out, cultural war.
Yeah.
And he wants to bring it into even past the 21st century. He's trying to modernize it. And I think you're going to have a lot of people try to take at him.
Oh, absolutely. But it's about time. It's about time. Yeah. And not only that, it'll also shut up a lot of these fucking racists, essentially. You know what I mean? Like, they can't use they're more archaic. Because let's face it, like, the way that the Middle East is right now is real archaic and just kind of, there's a lot to fucking criticize. But if they take this step, it should take a lot of that fucking hatred out of people's mouths.
Especially in Saudi Arabia, where we constantly say things like they have the worst human rights record, and that's no joke.
No, it's not. Like,
this guy wants to change it, and, it can only be a domino effect for other countries, hopefully.
Yeah, no, I thought it was pretty
cool. I'm so happy. This is the guy who said that women should be allowed to drive.
Yeah.
This was the guy that pushed that, and it happened. Women are driving in Saudi Arabia now.
Yeah.
this is what, you know, this guy was educated in, wasn't he France or England?
One of those. It sounds about right, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, he's taking the best of both worlds. He's going to take his country, you know, into a new chapter and, you know, bring it forward. And look, it's already a rich and powerful country.
Oh, fuck yeah,
you modernize that country,
yeah.
You're looking at, like, you know, the next freaking China or even USA.
Exactly.
Well, people forget that about the Middle East. I mean, that's where really most of the world, you know, relies on it for oil and stuff. It's like, you cannot be a big... This is a very interesting conversation, because I had this conversation with a coworker of mine. You cannot compete if you're not being innovative, or you're not wanting to be innovative, at least, because all you're doing is wanting money. But then, you know, with that means you have to move forward with certain aspects of how you, I guess in this situation, run your country. You know what I mean? You're already not democratic. Let's be frank about it.
Yeah, no, it's, you know, they got kings running the country.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So people already feel like, oh, God.
No, finish your point. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say that people already feel like they don't have.
Yeah. Well, and I was reading in the article, I closed it, so I'm not sure if this is exactly right. I'm pretty sure it said 50% of the country is under the age of 30.
Oh, wow.
If that's the case, I mean, young people usually tend to be more moderate or more progressive. So, you know, hopefully that can only help him.
Yeah, you hope.
I mean, there also young people can be radicalized, and, you know.
And that's the whole thing, right? It's so easy to radicalize or extrematize young people. It really is, you know. And I could say that from personal experience. But yeah, no, it's really cool. I mean, again, like, you know, there's going to be backlash, huge backlash.
Yeah.
At the same point in time, though, the thing that's, you know, it's like you're saying about their oil. You know, the thing that's always given the Saudis that kind of big head about themselves is the oil money. So if the rest of the world, we start saying, hey, until you guys, you know, ship up, we ain't buying your shit no more. You know, we could have done it with China. I mean, fuck, everywhere in the world could do it with the U.S., you know. Get your fucking shit together or we're done fucking trading with you.
People have been calling for that. You know, like in Canada, we had that huge arms deal that was made under the Harper government, and the Liberal government, of course, followed through with it because it would cost too much money to pull out.
Yeah.
People were like, you know, we need to force them. And I guess we didn't have to. We just needed the right person to come along. And I guess you know, that country's lucked out to have this, you know, this Saudi prince who's next in line to become king.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. But again, you know, there's not. I'm fucking calling it now. Someone's making an attempt on his life.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure those clerics aren't going down.
Oh, absolutely not. Like, that's a great thing. Well, not the great thing, but that's the thing with power. Once you have power, you're gonna fucking fight tooth and nail to keep that power.
Exactly. So, I guess we might expect to see maybe some clerics might be publicly executed too if they, you know, attempt a life on this prince. So
right there, though, wouldn't that be like contradicting though to what he was trying to do? Because I mean, let's face it.
Yes and no.
One of the things that the rest of the world, for the most part, has a problem with how they do shit there are public executions.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people aren't cool with watching videos of dudes getting their heads chopped off in fucking the center square of the city.
Absolutely
for
not.
Like, you know, minor discretions.
Yeah, but treason.
Yeah.
Treason or regicide, right, is one of the worst crimes you can commit in a country.
Yeah,
so
fair enough.
No, and you know me, I'm not for capital punishment. Yeah. But I mean, you commit treason in America, you could definitely be killed. So
I don't know. I will say this: I have seen some of the Saudi execution videos, and those guys are a well-oiled fucking machine. Like, seriously, it's
well, you know, when you do it that often.
Well, I was watching one video, and there's an explanation or whatever, and they actually talked about the executioner, and apparently he comes from a fucking line of executioners. Like, they've been fucking. His family line for like 18 generations have been the public executioners. So, like, you know what I mean? This shit's in their blood. Like, he was so fucking smooth. And
they're probably like, you know, when Canadian boys are putting on their ice skates, these guys are getting their first fucking machete.
You know, and as messed up as this is to say, like, it looked so humane. Like, seriously, it was just one quick swoop of a saber and done. Yeah. No more head. See you later. I don't know.
Well, and that's the ideal, right? I mean, if you're going to kill somebody, at least make it quick.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I've said this before. I'm weird. I'm really weird. I have this fascination with like gore and shit like that. I don't fucking understand it, but I do. So I do watch a lot of this shit. But yeah, I was impressed by that.
Yeah, I'm really like when you sent that, I was like, oh my gosh, I hadn't seen that. Did not show up on any of my news feeds. It didn't show up in any of my news sites. So I was really excited.
It's like the top story on Reddit.
Do you guys think though, like, when do you guys think this is gonna, maybe like start to kind of happen?
Well, he says in the article, he says we're not going to wait 30 years for change. So he basically is saying today he had an interview. The interview where he unveiled all this stuff was with an American journalist or a Western journalist, a woman, and she was not wearing a veil.
No, and a mini skirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, which is kind of awesome.
He's not fucking around.
I wear those all the time.
Well, of course you do. That's how you ply your trade.
Yes, I do.
Okay, let's talk. I want to talk about this one. I don't know how long we'll talk about it, but it makes me think of the Charlie Gard case.
Okay.
In Britain, they've passed the law allowing for 3-parent babies. Basically, they use no mother. And if there's a mitochondrial issue, they can then take the mitochondria with a donor egg. Okay. So it's not a fully, it's just little pieces of DNA are going in. This will help with things, like those kids that have that progenia and they age quickly and die young.
Yeah.
That could help with that case. It helps with mitochondrial problems. I can't remember, was Charlie Gard mitochondria? I think, right?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Possibly if the family had been tested and seen that this was a case, they may have, if that, may have helped him. Canada, now we've got a doctor here who's saying we need to talk about this and we need to get it legalized if possible, because even though it's only a small percentage of people that suffer from it, not only is it draining healthcare systems afterward, you could save people from dying. Usually babies born with a mitochondrial problem die within 2 years. You could give these kids a healthy, happy life. Now, of course, now the worry is designer babies.
It's always
now I'm going to have my tall, fast, blonde, blue-eyed, handsome son. But, I think you'll have to put laws in place that you can't put those things into place.
As a Southern Baptist white woman,
of course.
I do want, jokes aside, if it even if it even helps, like, let's just say a couple, right?
Yeah.
I think that science has done its job. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like sometimes it's a trick. It's a slippery slope. Because there are times where I'm like, that science is moving so far ahead, and it's kind of a little scary what we can do. But then at the same time, this is the purpose of research. This is what we're trying to accomplish. So if it can help, then why would we say no? You know what I mean? Like, why would we even?
Absolutely. I mean, like, that's the whole thing. If we can, the purpose of doing all this kind of mitochondrial research or embryonic or stem cells and all these things that we're doing is to extend human life or to fix, these genetic problems. Why wouldn't we be doing it? Of course, I think we need to put laws in place so that you can't just make the perfect baby. My kid's going to be, the next Olympic freaking javelin thrower, and that's what I'm going to have. No, you can't do that. But I mean, I know people who've had babies that had congenital heart disease and died, at like just a few weeks old. Don't we want to help these babies if we can? We're talking about babies that never got a chance to live.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a weird thing for me, solely for the fact that I still believe in nature, survival of the fittest. You know what I mean? But at the same point in time, it's true. Like, they're fucking kids. Like, you probably should do what we can to help them. Yeah. And even that.
And who's to say? Like, this kid might turn into the next Stephen Hawking.
Right? I've said that before, survival of the fittest, and I've been confronted with, well, if survival of the fittest is true, like, why do I support, like, chemotherapy?
Yeah.
Right? Which is...
why don't we kill our babies that get diagnosed with asthma?
Right? Like, exactly. So there is that to it, but I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I'm in that crowd, though, of, like, this is just a gateway to designer kids, and... that's going to be a fucking issue. Once
I do believe
stuff like that comes around, people with means will fucking exploit it because, again, we're fucking really good at exploiting shit.
In India, they have the law that you can't just abort a female baby because it's a female baby.
Yeah.
Right? So what they do is they get their scans, and the doctors, will say, it's a female, and then the people are like, well, I can't have this baby for this reason, or there's a medical reason, and then they abort the female baby because they want a boy, right?
Yeah, it's so fucked
up.
It
definitely even like that's just a little thing, right? Now, well, my baby has this, but while you're in there, you need to put that in there and fix that and do that.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll have it.
But people will always, okay. I always find this. There's that age-old question: is money the root of all evil?
Of course,
people will always find. No. I think it's not, for me at least. It's not too simple to answer, but I do find that people will always find a way to use something good for something bad.
You get what I'm
saying? Oh yeah, they exploit it.
Yeah,
whether it becomes a weapon or it becomes a money machine. Exactly.
Yeah. Because it's like, you think about something like oil. It was innovative at the time. It could power a car. I'm talking about a long, long time ago. But look at what we're doing with it now. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't think about the repercussions of how it could affect the earth and blah, 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 blah. Think about cigarettes, nicotine, tobacco. Tobacco was, and then look at what we're doing with it now. It's just people don't seem to have like a leash on them to be like, maybe this is taking it a little too far. Right?
It's because we don't give a fuck.
Well, that's the truth. Most of us don't give a flying fuck.
We don't give a shit. Like, and again, like, I've been saying this a lot in the last little bit. It's because we're really, really good at exploiting stuff. Like, that's just what we fucking do naturally. Like, I kind of peg it down to the fact that we were weak before we conquered the world, We weren't, we didn't evolve with big scary teeth or claws or the ability to jump real high or fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we had to learn how to exploit the world to kind of bend it to our will. And now that's just who we are.
I just read very quickly because I was at work when I saw the article. They've discovered by researching Neanderthal, that they took care of their disabled people that were born disabled or that were, suffered from long-term health defects and stuff. They were taken care of. They weren't just left out in the woods for the wolves to eat. So that's kind of.
I can't remember where I watched it or read it or what, but apparently, because what we knew about Neanderthal was completely fucking wrong. Like, none of it was right. But we're finding out that they were actually in better social standing than modern human were. Seriously, they really were. They
socially evolved.
They really were. They had way more complex social hierarchy than the modern humans. They were. I don't know. I'm looking forward to more of this shit coming out because it definitely it's going to shed some more light on who we are.
Well,
my
how do I say, me, I'm always like, it's hard for me. I feel like sometimes my brain works faster than my mouth does, and that's weird. But I do sometimes think we have to somewhat give something up in order for us to move as far as we did. Maybe part of it is empathy. Maybe we don't care enough because. You know what I'm saying? It's like I think
that you're right in a way. We only care about our circle, whatever our circle is, right? So when we sit down and we're like, who cares about kids starving in Africa, right?
Yeah.
Who cares about who's being blown up in the Middle East? On some basis we do, but what do we really do to change that?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Because me and my coworker, actually, we were having a huge discussion about this yesterday at work, and it was a very nice, good conversation. We're talking about a straight male from the Caribbeans, right? And he was like, I don't understand how some people randomly just said this because I think he was reading an article about Donald Trump. He's like, I don't understand how some people could be against gay marriage.
Yeah.
And I looked at him and I'm like, you were just asking me about, a client. Now all of a sudden you're talking about this. What the hell are you on about, right? No, seriously. He's like, but why do you think people would be against it? And he's looking at me like actually looking for an answer. And I said to him, I guess it's a generational thing. It's a way of thinking kind of a thing. It's a religious kind of a thing. I said what I said. I was like, and I think people have lost their empathy. People have lost their understanding of one another. If you believe in somewhat of a higher power, like, if you're somewhat religious, I almost kind of think, and I'm trying to make this profound or poetic, right? Instead of us kind of focusing on what our similarities are, I think I've said this on the show before, about 45 being president. I think now is the time for us to kind of somewhat realize, hey, we've got more common stuff than we do differences. You know what I mean? Because I think
Arthur was saying something about the fundamental Christians and the Muslims. That they got together and realized how much in common they have.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I've been saying this for a long time now. If the fundamental religious with regards to any religion actually shut the fuck up and got over the fact that some are white and some are brown and they start fucking just working together, they'd own the world. They would own the fucking world. But thankfully for their fucking racism, the rest of us, we get to actually live decent fucking lives. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's true.
Fuck.
Okay.
No, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was going to wrap up.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
Sure?
Yeah, I'm done.
Another time, I don't know if you guys enjoy it, but whenever I hear a sex robot story, I get intrigued by the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So here's another story. Apparently, this guy is one of the creators of this. I don't know if he created the sex robot or he just built his own sex robots. But this guy lives in Spain. He lives with his wife, but he has apparently a whole bunch of sex robots there too that live with them. Mm-hmm. Favorite sex robot is Samantha.
Jesus.
And he wants to create a baby with Samantha. Mm. He says he has a program ready that will where's the words? I want to just make sure I have it in here. Using the brain I already have created, I would program it with a genome so he or she could have moral values plus concepts of beauty, justice, and the values that humans have. He plans to make this baby through
What the fuck? Hey, what the fuck, bro? I have nothing else to say, but what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? How?
I want to say to his wife, what the fuck? Like, I mean, I don't have a problem if a guy wants to freaking, have a little fun with his sex robot on the side, but, like, he's having a full-on relationship with him.
So basically, she got side-chicked by the robot. Yeah. How do you get side-chicked by a robot?
It makes me wonder what her fucking, tickle trunk looks like, though. Like, you know what I mean?
Samantha's not even hot, by the way. Samantha looks really scary.
What's a tickle? Wait, hold on, Arthur. What's a tickle trunk?
Oh, you wouldn't know what a tickle trunk is. Growing up in Canada, we had a kids' TV show called Mr. Dress Up, and all his dress up clothes were in his tickle trunk.
Yeah.
So now tickle trunk would be where you keep your adult toys and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, her vagina?
No,
like her dildos and vibrators.
Dildos and vibrators and stuff like that. So, so she's cool. Well, she is a Southern Baptist woman. They do have appearances.
Yeah, they would never
Excuse me, Arthur. Let me correct you. Southern Baptist white woman.
White woman. That's right. My bad. But yeah.
There's a difference.
She's cool with this guy fucking procreating with a robot. She must have, just the craziest fucking simians and,
robots. Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah. Like crazy fucking.
Oh, yeah, those big dildo sex machines. Have you guys ever seen those? The dildo sex machines?
They're scary.
Yes, I have.
They're scary. That shit is.
This is completely off topic.
Walled vagina, because that would penetrate and kill.
But I've seen some fucked up shit. I've seen a guy essentially attach one to the front of his pickup truck with fucking stirrups and a backboard to fucking tie the chick down to, and the fucking Sibian essentially runs off the fucking movement of the wheels. Oh my god, people are fucking deviant. God. And that's the whole thing, with the sex robot thing. Every time I hear about it, I keep thinking, what fucking losers. And then I start thinking, like, wait, people have been doing this kind of fucking whack, like,
sick.
You know, like it's, like it's.
But what are
judge people's sexual choices in life? Like, really, as long as it's consenting adults and nobody's being hurt, and you're not bringing animals into the mix, I really can't. It's hard for me to judge you.
No, I judge.
Multiple sex robots is what kills me. It's not even just one.
No.
Jacqueline, I judge.
Yeah.
Okay. I judge.
You can judge.
I'm sorry.
I just. Oh my god.
How can you? But the question is, how can you not judge? You're supposed to judge.
So just if you find Sergey, I don't know how he says his name. Santos from Barcelona. On Grindr or Tinder, just be careful, people, because this guy's a freak.
But like that's it though. You brought up animals. So if sex robots are cool, then what the fuck's the problem with somebody having a sheep?
Because
a robotic sheep. No, seriously.
A robotic
it's a robotic fucking sheep.
Well, they want it.
What stops these fucking perverts from having a robotic child?
Well, it's the same thing like I said. That's my thing. What's he going to do with this baby afterwards?
Right? Like, it's so fucked up to me. Like, I mean, again, you want to be a pervert and you want to stick your dick in essentially what's a bunch of latex and a fucking few moving, like, metal parts. Cool, whatever, bro. Like, I'm going to look at you like a fucking weirdo regardless. But fuck the
can you imagine going to a dinner party at Sergey's house?
Oh my god!
And all his sex robots are like all dressed up nice at the table, and his wife is just sitting there like, my life sucks.
Oh yeah. Oh fuck.
What did you do with the wife? That's who I want to know.
My life as a sex robot side chick. Like, fuck out of here.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, I would definitely be updating on the next sex robots. You know me.
The shit's just
I'm fascinated by them because it's just like I get the sex part of it, I get the lonely part of it, and there's your little, somebody to brighten up your day, and you're not just, with a pillow or a cantaloupe or whatever. I get that.
Oh my god.
I don't get the other stuff, like no, a baby.
Well,
no.
But people are sick in the head. Let's be frank about this. Like, people are sick in the head. You know what I mean? Like,
why? Why?
I don't know.
Just go pay for a hooker, bro. Like, come on.
I do not condone any paying of sex workers unless that sex worker is me. Thank you.
Well, to pay for Ryan's sex work, bro. Like, the fuck, man.
Yeah, your world will be rocked.
Yeah.
Yes, it will be.
Fuck's sakes.
Okay, let me get to this one because I feel like we're going to talk about this story for a while. So let's get it on. I like going to haunted houses. Where you walk through and somebody says, I don't like when they touch you. One in San Diego called McCamey Manor, and this shit is extreme. This is not just, boo. Only 2 people enter the haunted house at a time, and it can take between 4 to 7 hours. And while you're there, you're bound, gagged, drenched in blood, forced to eat rotten eggs. You get your head in a cage. They lock you in a coffin. They're putting tarantulas and rats on you. You're puking. You're crying. What the fuck? If this is your thrill, you're more fucked up than the sex robot person. Sorry, I will judge you on that.
Oh my god.
It's the adrenaline high. That's exactly what this stuff is. It's the adrenaline high. And like, I mean, it's not really the same, but you can kind of equate it to even the extreme athletes. You're never going to get a high like that, and I'm kind of like that. Like, I like scary stories and horror movies for the same reason, like that adrenaline high. Would I have someone fucking bind me up and drench me in blood for fucking 7 hours? Fuck no. Because like then my fight or flight's gonna come in, and I'm gonna want to stab a fucking person.
Now you can't stab anybody.
I'm gonna try.
Crazy. I'm looking at some of these pictures, and just like they're, the girl's dangling with her hands tied above her head, and she's just literally blood everywhere. You got somebody choking someone.
When I seen that picture, my first thought is, what when they get that first freak that walks in though and saying like, "Harder, daddy."
Oh, I'm sure there is. I bet you there's people that jizz in their pants
exactly. Like, fuck. I don't know, cool on them. Like I've always thought those haunted houses were kind of whack. Like I
like them because I just like a little bit of scare. I don't need a ton of scare in my life.
I've only ever done the ones down like Niagara Falls, but I mean, I
haven't done that one. I've been to Screamers, which is in Toronto at Halloween, and I've been to the one at Wonderland. Mm-hmm. They're not the scariest thing in the world, but they're fun for a little, boo.
So there's one that's done in Long Island in New York, around the season, so they're already doing it. And we went. I was about 15, 16. I had just lost a lot of weight.
Ryan running with his wig in his hand.
Yes. Well, no, I had hair back then. Well, I had a longer hair back then because right now, my hair is a little short. But we went. My mom actually, believe it or not, is not afraid of these things at all. So we went. It's my sister and her friends or whatever, and I go with them, and. Actually, I'm banned from this place because I accidentally punched somebody. And
I think that's a reaction.
Well, no, because I said to him, "Don't get close to me," and he kept chasing me, and so I punched him in the face. And lights came on, and I had to be escorted out.
Jeez. You got more? Or are you done?
I was gonna say I don't respond well to people doing stuff like this to me.
Well, that's exactly what Arthur said. Fight or flight, right? You run or you fight. Yeah. I used to be really afraid of the ones you drove through because back in the 80s and the early 90s, they would touch you. They'd jump out and they would touch your shoulder or whatever, and I didn't like that. The walking ones that I've gone to, they're not allowed to touch you, so that makes me happy. So I'll go there. They come in my face, whatever. I have no problem with that. You get close to me. Just don't touch me. I went to one with my sister Patty, and our friend Spencer. And let me tell you, Spencer is well over 6 foot tall, and he's very wide-shouldered. He's like a big guy. Only go on the end or in the middle, and he would shove you into the people as they came towards you. And I recorded it in my pocket, my phone, so you couldn't see anything you could hear. And you hear this high-pitched screaming, and it's Spencer the whole entire time.
Well, it happens. People get afraid. Don't.
Yeah, that's fun. I like going to them. We went down to one near Niagara Falls last year, and actually there was one that was set up in our neighborhood that somebody did in their own house, and it was one of the better haunted houses I went to. It was really good.
So you know what's scary? Seeing your YSL sweater slowly unravel.
No.
That's just asking to die.
I would if you go to the YSL sweater because I'd look at that price tag and be like, bitch, please.
It's okay. It's okay.
I know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yves Saint Laurent.
Yeah.
It's designer.
It's designer. Excuse me.
Does it cost me fucking $10 at the Walmart discount bin? I have no idea what the fuck it is you're talking about. Fuck.
It's probably like freaking 100 times that amount.
Oh,
Jacqueline, excuse me. Do not. You're trying it.
You figured something like this was bound to happen. I mean, you gotta up the game. Every time, every year, you got to go further, do more, sue.
But I'm just now. I know people sign a waiver, right? But I mean, really, like you could have a really emotional or physical. I mean, you could have a heart attack in there.
Well, they said you have to be medically cleared. Like it's not even just signing a waiver; they have to.
You can't know. People are in amazing shape and then still, have heart attacks.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, when it happens...
This is not upping the ante, though. Like, upping the ante is if today you suck 2 cock, tomorrow you suck 3. This is not upping the ante. This is just asking for death. Like, this is just death.
Yeah. You could not pay me for $1 million, I would not go into this haunted house.
I would.
It would never happen.
For $1 million? Fuck yeah.
No, I wouldn't. I know I wouldn't.
$1 billion. For $1 billion, I'll try.
Horror of one of my biggest fears is throwing up. I have a phobia of throwing up. I have for years and years and years. And just the thought of smelling a rotten egg is enough to make me want to cry. I couldn't eat it.
I don't know. It's just the evolution of these haunted houses.
Yeah.
Because there's no more like blindfolding someone and have them fucking stick their hands in a bowl of grapes and like, ooh, their eyes. Like you can't do that
so
shit.
Scary.
You know what I mean? You can't do that shit no more. It's in the fucking 1960s. Like, no.
So the rational step is to put your head in a cage with rats crawling on your hands.
Yeah, fuck yeah, Fear Factor style.
No, I'm just like looking at these pictures, like no, would never happen for me.
I know they're gonna shut down because there's gonna be a rash of like real freaky fucking dudes and they're jerking off while these people are fucking like blindfolding them and shit. You know, this is someone's kink. I'm telling you right now, this is someone's fucking kink. And they're gonna exploit the fucking shit out of it.
Yeah, this is the extreme masochism. Jesus.
But I don't know, eventually it'll be offensive to somebody and they'll have to shut it down. You know, they're appropriating ghost culture or serial killer culture or some shit. They'll have to fucking close it. You know, can't have any fun.
Like, what the hell? That was my thing, tying women up.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you mentioned murdering someone's parents, the Menendez brothers. You know, they take huge offense to that. Shut down. Fuck out of here.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Honolulu. I guess it's just the city, not the whole state of Hawaii. Honolulu has passed a law where if they catch you looking at your electronic device while crossing the street, you will get at least up to a $35 fine.
Fuck yeah. It's about fucking time.
Should be more. Should be more as far as I'm concerned. 35 to start.
Jersey's been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
I am so fucking tempted to knock people's phones out of their fucking hands because they're sitting, their faces fucking buried in them, unaware that other people are trying to move. You know, I went to a hockey game the other night, and as I'm getting off the train in Toronto, going down the stairs, you know, all these people are just sitting there walking like fucking zombies with their faces in their phones. Like, people have places to fucking go. And I don't give a fuck if you have $1,000 iPhone. I'll smack that the fuck out your hands. The fuck out of my way.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. I think that people crossing the road while looking at their phones.
Right, and that's so dangerous.
We've seen the videos of the women falling into the fucking the fountain at the mall, or into a hole in the side of the road. Like, come on, people.
It's so fucking dangerous. But I mean, tickets not enough. It's not gonna dissuade people from fucking doing.
That's why it starts at 35 again. It should even be higher, really. If you're on the road in traffic and you're looking at your phone, you're putting not just yourself in danger, you're putting whoever hits you in danger.
I mean, you would think, like, the charge or the fine here for texting and driving it's fairly severe.
Yeah.
People haven't stopped, you know?
No, that's true. Some people like drunk driving.
Exactly.
Remember we talked about that guy with 28 charges?
28 charges, yeah. You know, it's not enough to, you know, get people to stop doing it.
Capital punishment in America, people still murder.
Yeah. But I mean, again, we're just so reliant on our fucking phones, you know. It's not going to stop people. But yeah, no, it's about time. Like, something's got to fucking happen with this shit.
Yeah, I think we're going to start seeing more and more cities doing this.
Right? Because it's fair. Like, you don't have to have your face buried in your phone to text somebody.
No.
Right?
No. You can do voice text now.
Well, it's just how hard is it? Just look at your phone, throw a couple words, look at where you're going, throw in a couple words, look where you're fucking going. Yeah. Those people to me aren't the problem. It's the people that are sitting there fucking like reading emails or reading full out news articles or sitting there just dicking around on fucking Facebook walking. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, I swear to God.
You know, the only time I use my phone when I'm walking, if I have to send a text to Scott or one of the kids that texted me. Yeah. Trust me, when I get to the road, I'm looking at the road. Yeah. Like, frick that. I know somebody who... Two things. One guy I know who got severe brain damage because he was riding his bike with his headphones across the road and got smoked by a car. And he has never been the same. It's been over 25 years, and he's never been the same. Yeah. And I know a guy I used to work with was driving, and a woman ran out in front of his car for a bus, and he killed her. I mean, it wasn't his fault, obviously, but he killed her. So when I'm on the road, I don't, like, that's not a joke to me. No. I really pay attention.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, I've been in a car. I've been in multiple cars with multiple people, multiple drivers, whoever it is. And sick person who he's been driving for a long time in his life, and probably about 15 years. And he would always text and drive. And there was one moment, it was late night. We were just driving around, right? And you know that knee-jerk reaction that you always have because you felt like a light went green or something.
Yeah.
I was paying, as a passenger, I always pay attention to the lights.
Yeah.
So I was paying attention, and it was red. It was nowhere near turning green. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was the one that was gonna get. I think I told you guys the story. I was gonna get T-boned. Me.
Yeah.
I would have been the one to die that night. And
Yeah.
all I said was the person's name.
Yeah.
And he grabbed his heart. He was like, "Oh my God." I was like, "It's okay. Please put your phone down."
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I don't like that texting and driving.
He didn't realize. Yeah, he didn't. We weren't even driving. We were on a red light. We were on a red light, but because he thought it went green.
Yeah, well, you're still distracted. You're still responsible for the vehicle, even though the car is not moving. There's all kinds of stuff going on around you. You're supposed to be, aware of.
It was a very scary because it would have died. It would have been me.
Yeah.
I can't remember where I saw it. It might have been a Tesla Pilot, but they were talking shit about putting cell phone jammers in the car so that your phone will not fucking work. Like, you will get zero service, you will have zero Wi-Fi. It had to be in a car that had like built-in GPS, because I remember thinking that, and then whatever the fuck it was I was watching or reading, like, kind of addressed that fact. But I honestly think that's what we need to be doing. Throwing some fucking cell phone jammers up in cars, or fucking, even in fucking like train stations and sidewalks and shit. Like, I don't know.
But then you have the outcry. Okay, that's fine. The driver can't use their. But now you got your two teenage kids in the back who are losing their minds because they actually have to talk to you.
Yeah. It's so fucking dumb to me. I had one friend, I was in the car, they were driving, and, on the phone, and I just looked, and I was like, oh, so fuck my life, right? And they kind of look at me like with this confused look. I'm like, oh, I'm just happy to know that texting whatever fucking piece of ass it is you're trying to get right now is worth more than the life you have in your fucking vehicle. Like, congratulations, you're a fucking idiot.
No, not even that. You're an asshole.
Exactly. Like, you're a dick.
Because you're an asshole because you're putting someone's life at risk. Because you felt like that text was too to not respond.
Exactly.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just saying, if I'm in the car by myself and my phone goes off, I ignore it. If I have one of my kids with me or Scott, I hand them a phone and say, read that text. Like, otherwise it just sits there.
Yeah, because you shouldn't have to. You know what I mean?
If you're on a long drive, in America, for sure, I saw on the long drives, they have they're like, pull over here to check your cell phone. They have areas for you to pull over to look at your cell phone.
But you also have, these phones are getting smarter where you could be like, Siri or whoever, please read my text.
Yeah.
And it reads
exactly. Your car, yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's just people need to stop. And we have our friend Retro Raccoon. She's saying that they had a friend driving from Los Angeles to San Diego playing a phone game. Like, nothing, no Candy Crush or whatever game you're playing. It's worth that drive. You can stop for a few hours.
It just shows you how dependent we are on our devices. And I can't say
we
that
are, I'm just as much.
Exactly. Like, I can't say I'm any different. Like, my phone's in my hand fucking like 80% of the fucking day. But there comes a time when I know, like, hey, put that down, asshole. Like,
what's funny is maybe because I use my my desktop computer more. I don't use my phone all that much in the washroom, and when I'm on my break at work.
Yeah.
That's really the only time I use it. I don't text a ton. I very rarely even talk on the phone to my mother, and I think that's about it. Yeah. Use it a lot, but I use my personal computer a shitload.
Yeah. I can't say that. I'm always on my fucking phone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Scott and the kids are. Yeah, it's just how it is now, right?
Yeah, it's fucking life now. But I know that it's about time. It's about time that, it's got to just be made the norm.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know. Because that all these public service announcements are not going to help. No. So you got to do something. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of the jammers in certain places.
Jammers, or start getting assholes like me just walking around smacking people's fucking phones out of their hands.
Oh my God, imagine you got paid. That was your job to just go around and smack the shit out of people's phones.
That'd be a good fucking job.
One time I was at the X and we were leaving and we were trying to make our train. And you know how it's always crowded.
Oh, yeah.
And I was walking really fast and I didn't know that this happened. Marley told me afterwards. I knocked a guy's phone out of his hand and it broke.
Good.
But I was already like way gone by then. So. Well, whatever, buddy. Why are you walking around the crowded X with your phone in your hand, asshole?
Suck a fucking dick, bud.
Yeah, I didn't feel that bad.
No, fuck that. No, like I get so mad. Like, and it normally happens when I have to go down into the city. Because again, like, you know, I take the train in, and it fucking pisses me off beyond fucking words. Like, situational awareness people, like, realize that there's other fucking people around.
And they walk so slow. Ryan and I always talk about this, how we hate slow walkers on the streets. If you want to walk slow, move to the outside or the inside. Get out of the way. Yeah. Like 4 people abreast and walk slow. That fucking drives me crazy. I'm like, the whole fucking family's blocking the sidewalk.
Yeah.
I just start yelling.
Oh, I can't stand it. Or like, you go to a mall. Like, and I mean, here are malls, like, I mean, again, like Canada, we're not as populated. I can only imagine what it's like in the fucking States. Like, to go to a place, like, go to a mall, that Macy's Center or whatever in New York, and have to fucking deal with that kind of shit.
Oh
like,
my God,
it would drive me fucking, like, the thought of it right now is pissing me off.
Yeah.
Right? No, I hate people.
Yeah.
I fucking hate people. They're always so self-centered, you know? And even, like, you think, like, I'm kind of a believer in that whole, like, you pay it forward kind of thing, you know? If I do something kind, maybe that'll make the person in front of me do something kind. But it really doesn't work like that anymore because nobody fucking cares. You do something kind, they're just like, all right, cool, fuck you. And then they continue going on their ignorant fucking way, you know?
Yeah.
So
I need to bring you to the Costco, my Costco. And when I signed up for Costco, the lady told us that it would, because we didn't go to the store, we signed up at the X.
Yeah.
She's like, that's the busiest Costco in Canada, the Scarborough one.
That's not a surprise.
Let me tell you, oh my God, just have people stop their cart and they're looking in the cart and they're discussing stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll just yell, like, make a fucking decision and get out of the way.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I lose my mind there.
I try not to.
Like, really lose my mind.
I try not to speak up because I know it embarrasses Liz. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Scott doesn't like it either, but I can't help it sometimes. I'd be like, people are lined up blocking the aisle for a free sample of Rice Krispies. I'm like, we've all tried Rice Krispies, move along. I just go crazy.
But like I do have this kind of fucking like really judgmental kind of scowl where you can just tell like by the look on my face I'm calling you like every fucking name in the book. So I like throwing that around. You know what I mean? Like especially you know I know you're a parent, but fuck you and your fucking kids. Like fuck your fucking kids.
Oh, I 100%.
I will waffle stomp your fucking kid into a fucking display if you don't get that little fucking rat under control. Fuck your fucking kid.
Yeah, no, I work at a grocery store, Arthur. Trust me, I 100% agree.
Like, I don't care.
Your motherfucking child.
I don't care that little fucking Timothy has fucking ADHD. Fuck that fucking shit. Like, I will boot fuck your kid.
Hold their hand then.
Put on a fucking
You know what
leash.
I mean? I'm not saying you can't go out in public.
No.
If your kid has autism, you know, that's wonderful that you're taking, you know, great care of them.
Absolutely.
But you still have to control them. Hold their hand. Don't let them run wild in public. If they don't like to be touched, put the leash on them.
Put the fucking thing on a leash.
Whatever.
Put it on a goddamn leash.
Because when your kid's running up and down the aisles at my store, and I mean, yesterday there was a kid that literally just made this noise. From like for a half an hour straight, all through the fucking
Oh my
store.
God.
And I was like, gag that kid.
You know.
I was just like, no.
My
kids weren't perfect, trust me. I didn't have perfect little angels that behaved themselves all the time. Right? I know that it's hard to be a parent in public. But
it's not.
They didn't behave like that. Trust me.
Just fuck your children.
Bribe them. This is how I bribe them. If you're good in the store, you get a treat when we leave. That's it. And my kids only ever had to be removed from the store like 2 times because they wanted a treat.
Fuck that shit. Don't bribe the kid. It's not a fucking dog. You don't get a fucking treat every time I say sit and you sit. Like, that's not you.
Yes, they do. That's how you freaking positive reinforcement with
smack that kid upside the fucking head and say, listen, motherfucker. Like, I don't know. My parents didn't say, hey, if you don't act like an idiot, we'll get you a Happy Meal. No, I got to smack upside the head. So stop acting like a fucking idiot. Guess what I don't do? Act like a fucking idiot in public. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, but now if you beat your kid in public,
kids.
they call children's aid on you. So you can't beat your kid in public. You got to save that for home.
Well, beat the fucking children's aid worker. Fuck them. Fuck's sakes. Fuck out of here. Fucking, I can't fucking stand kids. Fucking assholes.
I had a little girl last week. I saw her go over to the chocolate display, and then she's like hiding. At our store, there's like the lanes aren't right to the ground, the two end where you put your groceries at the end. So she's under there, and I look and I see her chewing on a Mars bar. I'm like, your kid is eating a Mars bar. And she's like, what? Mia, get up here, right? And this little girl, let me tell you, she ran all the way to the other end of the store to stuff that chocolate bar in her mouth.
Oh, Jesus.
And then she tried to steal a Minion, and I'm like, because we have these Minion Pez dispensers. Yeah. I'm like, look, Mia, you can't steal that Pez dispenser.
Fuck that. Hey, fuck your kids, man. Fuck your kids.
I love kids, but yeah, when they get to the age that they're the worst at our store, actually, I wouldn't even say the little ones, like 3, 4, 5. You know which ones are the little fucking shits? 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
The fucking shit, and they're not, and they think that they can't be like yelled at by strangers.
I'll yell at your goddamn kid. I don't give a shit. I don't fucking care. Fuck you. Fuck your kid. Fuck you for being a shitty parent. Like I don't owe you shit.
Oh, it was so awful last winter. This kid's in riding one of those stupid not hoverboards.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, can you not ride that in the store? You're not allowed to ride it in the store.
Yeah.
So he got off it. I'm walking around the store. I see him riding it again. And I'm like, look, I've already asked you once. You can't ride it in the store. I see him for the third time. I'm like, if you continue to ride it, I'm going to kick you out of the store.
Yeah.
Right? And his mom's like, call the manager then. I'm like, just don't, why don't you not let your kid ride the thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And then so I see them one more time. He's not riding it. He goes, oh, and I have to wear a red shirt, right? He's like, oh, I see a big red balloon, like trying to say I'm fat. And I looked at him. I'm like, oh, I see a future criminal.
Oh, right? Snap.
Right? I don't care.
Fuck that.
Like, fuck you, kid, right? And so then he come in a couple days later with his brother, and he gets into my lane, and he looks up, and he makes eye contact with me, and you could see himself. He didn't have his mommy there to protect him now, eh? Yeah. He almost shit himself. Good. And I'm like, oh, look, it's my favorite customer, right? And the kid's just like, didn't have enough money to pay for what they had. I'm like, oh, you don't have enough money? Right? I'm saying it so loud, like, you little fucker. I don't give a shit.
No, fuck that shit.
You're such a dick, Jacqueline.
No, that kid wants to call me a fucking fat person, which is fine. I'm fat. I accept that. But you should have enough fucking politeness not to. And you caused it all by riding a hoverboard in a store where you're not supposed to fucking ride a bike or ride a scooter.
Well, but you know what it is? It's not even about disciplining. It's just about, my mom used to do the look. We all know the look, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like that one look with me. Look, it's like, I didn't have to, well, I was still spanked, but I didn't misbehave in a store. Like, I'll never
think. I never would have dreamed of riding a hoverboard because my dad would have said, what the fuck do you think you're doing?
Like, I'm a fucking 30-year-old man, and if my father gives me that fucking look, I'm like, oh shit, like, I better act right. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Not like, oh, if I don't act right, I'm not gonna get a treat. No, that motherfucker's gonna hit me. Like, I'm not acting right.
Yeah. As the parent, your only job is to raise kids that aren't complete fucking douchebags.
And they're all failing. I fucking hate your kids.
Ridiculous.
I fucking can't stand
I didn't know
kids.
that we rewarded people for not misbehaving. I mean, you don't have to.
Oh, I rewarded my kids because I don't care. That was a choice I made. Because you know what? They were good. And like I said, only 2 times I had to take them out of the store.
Well, and that's it, though. It's not like Logan or Marley are assholes. I was a fucking asshole. Like, I was one of those kids that would have looked at you and kept doing what you told me not to fucking do, because fuck you, lady. Who the fuck do you think you are?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I was one of those kids that I'm bitching about right now.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's why I'm just so fucking, like, angry about the whole thing. Oh, yeah. Because I think about it, and if I would have had to deal with me as a fucking kid, like, I would have fucking lost. I would have beat the shit out of little me. Yeah. Like, fuck that. But no, fuck your kids.
I was a conniving little kid. My mom knew that when I was quiet, it was worse than when I was noisy.
Yeah.
Because I was doing something.
Getting into something.
Yeah. Like, I'll never forget. It was like this big, it's like the version of Costco or BJ's in the Philippines called Macro. My mom started this whole story that you can't be in there unless you're 12. Well, one day I threw a fit and she had to take me with her. I was like maybe 6. And so I went. She was pregnant with my little sister at the time, right? Very, very pregnant. She was like about to give birth status. And there were these beautiful store displays. Well, what did Ryan do? It like all of a sudden they just heard a big and I just ran to her and I was like, what happened? She's like, oh my God, we're gonna get banned from being here.
I mean, Ryan, is there any place you can go without getting banned?
Well, I don't always get banned. I follow the rules in my church, Bergdorf, and my second church, Saks. But like a grocery store, like, don't put a pretty display. I'm gonna touch it, and I'm not gonna take the one off top. I'm gonna take the one in the middle.
Jenga style.
It's Jenga. I don't want to figure out if it's gonna collapse. It's your fault.
But no, it's true though. But then you go to Walmart. And you get that fucking like double fucking effect where it's the kids acting like assholes and the mom is too busy with their fucking face buried in her cell phone to understand that her kid's being a little fucking dickhead.
Or just little Timmy is just expressing himself.
He's just expressing himself. Man, fuck out of here. I'm gonna express myself the back of his fucking head.
Can I tell you? I always work at Lane 1 at my store. And right beside Lane 1 is the Minion Pez dispenser display that's been there for about 6 months. Mm-hmm. And that is one of the worst things in the world that has ever happened to me personally. Because every kid knows what a Minion is. Mm-hmm. And not one kid can pass by without crying for a Minion or grabbing a Minion or, just like constantly. And it's just like,
Oh my God. You just reminded me of a story. So I have these overalls, right? The jumper thing, the overalls, right? Like the jumper, like the one the kids wear for adults. For me, it's a fashion thing. Okay.
So a romper?
It's not a romper.
So
are they denim? Are they denim?
They're denim. They're all denim.
And they're overalls.
All right.
Yeah.
Dungaree.
Yeah. This was like a season ago from a designer label, whatever. So I wore it with my cousin because my cousin was visiting, as you guys are aware. And this little kid passes by me and I'm wearing boots, black boots. I'm wearing all black, like underneath it. Kid was like, oh my God, Mommy, look, he's a Minion. With my glasses on.
You should have been racist. Your kids are racist.
Oh my God, that was a perfect opportunity for that.
Of course, like I'm bald, and my cousin's recording this, and he posts it on Facebook. I was pissed. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Just got red to
Oh my God, now you know you can be for Halloween, Ryan.
I know. I'm actually thinking about doing it for Halloween because the kid was like, look, Mommy, he's a Minion. And he wanted to run to me and ask for a picture. The mom was so embarrassed.
And I'm just make money at Times Square being a Minion, Ryan. $5.
I said to the mom, I was like, it's okay, but you just reminded me of that story. It was so embarrassed. And then I had my YSL clutch on my hand. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a fucking Minion.
That was the time a kid saw me and said, oh my God, there's Charlize Theron.
Oh wow, Declan, yes.
And then she woke up.
We're basically the same person. Calm down, guys.
Oh, God damn it. But yeah, no, you definitely should have cried racism.
Charlize, I get mistaken for a Minion. I had to well, but the bad part is, okay, I have the bad habit. I'm going to tell you guys this story, and Jacqueline knows this. I don't wear undies. And so and I've lost a lot of weight. So when I unbuckle
I know Brian's underwear details.
Yeah. When I take off, the 2 straps, I don't know what you call them. I don't know the technical term for it, but the 2 straps.
Yeah, the straps.
Take that off. It's going to fall. Because, I've lost weight. Even the little buckles on the side.
Oh, we lose him?
We lost Ryan.
There he is.
Oh, there he is.
To make it look like a little bit.
So it falls down and shows your...
No, well,
it shows your little Minion?
No. And I'm holding my pants up. My cousin is like, my cousin was like, this is it. You have to make a decision. You either want to be a Minion or you want to have your ass out. I said, I guess I'm going to have to be a Minion for the rest of the night. So
oh my God.
I kept diverting him from going to like crowded places because I didn't want to be mistook for a Minion my whole night. So
Banana.
I hate you, Jacqueline.
So is he more Stuart or Kevin?
Kevin.
No, Ryan, I wish I'd been there to see that.
He missed a perfect opportunity. You should have cried racism when that kid fucking said that.
Oh my God, Ryan, you might have been able to, like, you know, milk that situation and got a house or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Goodbye.
A victim of a hate crime from a child.
Yeah. His mother was obviously a Trump supporter.
Yeah, white nationalist, Nazi, for sure.
Goodbye. I'm done with all of it.
Okay, well, that is the end.
Yeah.
Have a good rest of the week, and we'll see you on our regular Monday and Wednesday show. And join me here on Sunday with Justin for our TV Attack edition. Have a good week, guys.
Take care.